Happy weekend, everybody. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today's Saturday, March 22nd. It's spring. Hope you're doing well. In this video, we're going to do another rapid fire news update, this time for the period March 15th to the 21st. And again, it's not a deep dive detail, it's just a high level overview in case you missed it. Before we get to it, make sure to smash the like, subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You can follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. Wana Brands brings hemp-derived psychoactive component edibles to Texas, and I'm a little kind of skeptical about this just because of the fact that we had a Texas Senate bill that passed to ban all psychoactive component in consumable hemp products. And one thing that we've been hearing a lot lately is that more than likely going to see beverages kind of be given the green light, but everything else is kind of under scrutiny. So I'm a little concerned about these companies who are really banking on, these other products in different categories and formats. I think it's very risky at the moment, but this is a big brand, and they're also going to be offering the hemp drinks. Canopy USA is going to be offering hemp drinks all across the U.S. So that's something that they're going to benefit from as well. But whether or not they're able to pivot quickly, that remains to be seen. I just think it's very risky, and we could see the farm bill amended as well. But we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be at least, I think, 6 to 9 months before we see any movement on that. So we'll be keeping close eyes on that as well. Also, Innovative Industrial Property says that PharmaCann has defaulted again on lease payments. So this is just sign of the times that the industry continues to struggle in terms of cash. And the struggles for the MJ operator missed March payments for the 9 properties totaling $2.7 million. That is not a good sign. More reason to start to support this industry and see reform in the US as well, and around the world, quite frankly. Even in Canada, we've been legal for almost 7 years, and we still have high excise taxes plaguing this industry. And I think, around the same time 280E goes away in the US, we'll see improvements to excise tax in Canada, where it switches from a flat fee to a percentage fee. Also, High Tide beats sales estimates, but records loss as it continues to expand its operations. So again, if you haven't seen that video, I already posted a video. I won't, in effort of time, repeat myself. But this was not great news. Check out that video, though, if you want to see my thoughts and opinions and deep dive into their earnings. But this is not great news. High Tide Cabana shop was robbed at gunpoint in Guelph, Ontario. So this is unfortunate. This has become an unfortunate trend as well in Ontario. There have been several pot shop robberies recently. So not good at all. And, you never like to see these types of things, but it is very much at risk. And it's always a risk with these retailers. Not sure if it happens very much with the alcohol industry. I certainly don't hear about it, but, maybe the illicit market is really hurting at the moment. That's one possibility. I think it very much is. I've heard from, multiple people that, I don't even go to my guy anymore, the street option, right? Because they're getting completely blown out of the water. The only thing that is really thriving, to my knowledge, is those very high potent edibles, like the 100 milligram ones, because they're not available in the stores. But those things are super dangerous. You never know what's in them. And I've tried them in the past, and they always made my stomach hurt. Like it's not made with good ingredients. And how you got to be careful what you put in your body. And how are we to know what is in this stuff, right? Like some dude or some guy or gal made it in their bathtub or their bathroom or their, you know what I mean? Like it's just not sanitary. It's kind of crazy, some of the things that people put in their body. But those days are gone for me. I'll tell you that much. You can go buy gummies at the store, 10 milligram for like $1.99 now, like just over $2. So it's not worth the risk, in my opinion. Also, Manitoba Harvest, which is a subsidiary of Tilray Brands, collaborates with Whole Foods, which is a subsidiary of Amazon, for nationwide launch of its Super Seed snack clusters. So future is bright for Manitoba Harvest, and in the U.S. as well. Once they start to expand, just imagine what's going to happen once we get full-blown federal legalization. Also, Trulieve to open medical MJ dispensary in North Miami Beach, Florida, as it continues its state rollout. Also, 3 in 4 young adults say they use MJ as an alcohol alternative at least once a week, survey finds. And I know some people are thinking like once a week, well, that's not very much. Well, most people probably only consume alcohol, I would say, on average 2 to 3 times a week, again, on average. So, that's about half the time, essentially. I think that's pretty good. And I myself, I've been one to, I live from experience. I definitely use this as an alternative to alcohol. Actually, right now I'm on a bit of a hiatus. I'm not doing any alcohol. I'm not doing any MJ. Not doing any smoking of any kind, any consumption of any kind. I'm just on the good old water diet for the next month or two. SNDL tops revenue expectations as MJ segments outperformed. So they did beat in terms of revenue, but they had a pretty big loss and negative EPS and missed pretty big on the earnings per share EPS estimates. So that is why the stock was down, in my opinion. Also, Kronos appoints Anna Schlimak as CFO, Chief Financial Officer. Moving right along, we had Charlotte's Web reporting 2024 and fourth quarter year-end results. They achieved sequential revenue growth, and they reduced operating expenses by over $22.4 million. And this is a company as well that has collaborated with Tilray, and they have a lot of their distribution rights here in Canada. Another company that Tilray has distribution rights for is Jones Soda. They're Mary Jones, so they have they're bringing the Mary Jones. Tilray is through to the Ontario and British Columbia markets to start, and then I think the next one on the list was Alberta. Definitely the biggest provinces as well, so it makes a lot of sense. But I think this is very much a possibility that we could see Tilray acquire Jones Soda in the foreseeable future. But they grew their market footprint with expanded distribution network, and who has a bigger distribution network than, say, Tilray Brands? Also, legislation to legalize MJ in North Carolina gains 13th sponsor as game theory continues to play out. And speaking of legislation and different states starting to kind of get in line and game theory playing out, a poll finds that majority of voters in Utah support legalizing the plant. I mean, majority of voters everywhere, right? Not just in the U.S. Like 80 to 90% of people in the U.S. want it legal in some form. I would say that's true in the rest of the world, right? Look at Thailand and France, for example. Here is another article, and they've been very, very conservative. But France moves forward with medical MJ regulations, submits proposals to the European Union. So this is exciting. We'll continue to monitor that. Also, Hawaii lawmakers vote to let doctors recommend medical MJ for any condition they deem appropriate, as times they are a-changing. Also, Auxly reported its full year 2024 and fourth quarter results. They achieved record sales, profitability. Back 40 exits 2024 as the number one brand in Canada across multiple categories. What a fantastic report and quarter and year for Auxly. If you haven't seen my video going over these earnings, I did a review, so check those out. It was absolutely fantastic. And shout out to the Auxly team. Make sure to view the interview with Hugo Alves as well, the CEO of Auxly. I interviewed him. It was a banger of an interview and getting tons of great feedback from that. And I'm excited about the Auxly future for sure. The risk to reward there is insane. Also, Elon Musk and Senator Ted Cruz joke about smoking MJ to boost podcast views. And this was the famous 2018 shot whenever he was on JRE and smoked. And yeah, definitely it goes to show how popular this topic is, right? And, even though they're joking, they're definitely not joking, right? If Ted Cruz or Elon Musk were to go on and, if they said we're going to do a live stream tonight at 8 p.m. and we're going to go on there and smoke a bong or something like that, like there'd be millions and millions and millions of people, maybe even hundreds of millions of people tuning in just to view it. Like that's insane, right? Like this is a huge topic. But as we know, I think it was from Auxly's letter to shareholders. It's projected by 2030, the MJ industry is only expected to grow to 134 billion. And I know what you're thinking, only. But when you contrast that with crypto and blockchain and AI, these are hundreds of trillions of dollar markets that we're talking about, right? By 2030, crypto and blockchain could become a 50 to 100 trillion with a T, right? So it's no wonder that everybody's so confused. They're like, why isn't the new administration talking about MJ, their failed promises, blah, blah, blah. They're not fulfilling their promises and following through. Well, they said they were also going to, make the U.S. The Bitcoin and crypto capital of the world. Again, what are they going to focus on? A 50 to 100 trillion dollar market, or are they going to focus on a $100 billion market by 2030? Right? It's apples to oranges. It's just a drop in the bucket. But don't worry. Shortly after crypto, AI, blockchain, big tech, once that jumps out of the spotlight, I bet you we're going to see MJ ushered in there not too long after. Also, Aurora MJ unveils groundbreaking genetic breakthrough for powdery mildew-resistant MJ. So this is a Canadian-based company, obviously. They announced that they had a discovery of a novel source of genetic resistance against powdery mildew, PM2, that provides strong protection against the pathogen in the MJ sativa plant. So love to see that. And again, a lot of these Canadian companies, they just have such a huge head start, right? Both from a research and data perspective, and just from a overall, scalability and international footprint perspective. Also, the Netherlands is set to launch legal MJ sales experiment, even amid concerns. So love to see it. Also, Canada retailers sold $418 million Canadian worth of MJ in January, up 6% from last year, but it did decline slightly from the month prior. Also, MJ demonstrates positive findings for managing pain in NCAA athletes, new research show. So again, this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Like, imagine once we get rescheduling in the US, once the barriers come down, imagine when we hit AI with it, right? We as humans, as we get rescheduling, as we get full-blown legalization, the walls come down, the barriers come down with regards to research and studies. As humans, we're going to be able to see so many scientific breakthroughs. But imagine if we hit it with AI, and there's lots of chatter going on right now that AI could potentially cure cancer and all these different types of diseases, which I think is very, very likely. And imagine if they're able to analyze this plant, right? They might even be able to find some scientific breakthroughs. And I'll have to be careful with, some of the claims that I'm saying here, because I'm not a doctor. I have no idea. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if humans combined with AI start to analyze this plant and these cannabinoids. I think we're going to see some major scientific breakthroughs, unlike you would like the likes you'd never even imagine. So it's an exciting time. It's going to be, a little bit, but technology and AI and all these technologies, they're moving at breakneck speed. So I wouldn't be surprised if it happened a lot sooner than later. Also, MJ MSO Planet 13 recovers 2.1 million more from former bank alternative. And last but not least, Agrify posted 41.7 million loss amid Green Thumb Industries takeover as they bet big on hemp drinks. And I would say it's not just Agrify, it's not just GTI. We've seen True Leaf get into the beverage segment as well. You got Wana Brands and all the Total Wines. You got Cure Leaf. You got Happy Flower and all the other different brands from Tilray. So there's going to be a lot of competition. But Tilray, Irwin Simon said it himself. If they could sell not just hemp drinks, but MJ infused beverages in the U.S., he said that alone would be over $1 billion opportunity. So just imagine once flour and pre-rolls and everything like that, and then South America, the rest of the globe. Really, the sky is the limit. But let me know what you think of this news in the comment section. We'll continue the conversation there. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll catch you on the next video.